any kind of addiction, in general, drug, alcohol, whatever, the consequence is what? That family is neglected, kids are somewhere, of course, finances. Any addictive agent, it can cause finances problem, and like I said, job. The thing that addiction is addiction is addiction. Doesn't really matter what is the substance. If they are addicted to drugs or pills or computer games, the effect on them is going to be less or much better than if they are affected to porn. No, addiction is an addiction. Doesn't really matter what is the substance. And also, I'm just focusing here on maybe mature adult spouses in marriages that some of the indication, it is lack of intimacy in physical contact and conversation. Sexual isolation, we talk about that, argumentative, defensive, disagreeable, things unusual happens. Goes out of their way to look at men and women. You know, you will see sometime people are this way. Financial issues, and I mentioned before that some, they spend $300 to $500 per day. Okay, now we are talking about marriage. We're not talking about teens now. We are talking about marriage. The question is the sexual addiction have an effect on marriage? The answer is great. Why? Number one, because they develop unrealistic expectations of women's appearance and behavior, including sexual behavior. Of course, anyone can compete with an person with an anorexia in TV looking like great. No one can compete. So this is one of the effect of this material. And is this material, like I said, it affect only married people? No. It affects also single people if they are in the process of choosing their wife-to-be. As a matter of fact, one time I was in a department store and was trying, an article of clothes, and I just heard outside someone say, a girl, she was saying, "What do you think I look?" He said, "You look terrible. You look very heavy. Look at the way, you look." With a loud voice. That's the person she was with. And from their tone of voice, I realized that they are like maybe high school or not more than high school kids. And of course, I was like really so disturbed. So I finished what I'm doing and I went, and to my horror and my shock, this lady, she was a stick. This girl, she was a stick. And he was telling her, "Look how fat you are," and all. And luckily, luckily, I controlled myself. But definitely, I have to confess, just to look at this guy was really, I give him a very bad look, like, "What do you think you are, And also, it breaks my heart that girl is taking this abuse from this guy. So anyway, two have difficulty forming and sustaining relationships. Have trouble feeling satisfied with the normal God-given their spouse. Why? Very important. Why? Because, like I said, there is an escalation. And you start to see things, and okay, one time it's okay, second time it's not that great, you want more and more and more exciting. So the normal intimate relationship, which is God-given, it is not satisfying anymore. And the thing that he or she can get on the internet in a split of a second, they can go to a different level and excitement, and always there is something new. Otherwise, if the same website have the same pictures and everything, okay, they are not going to sell. So they have to make it more exciting. So this is one of the things when young kids, girls are exposed to this material at that young age, they become extremely selfish, self-absorbed. They are not satisfied with normal people. They are not satisfied at all. Also, pornography leads to certain kind of habits, and that eventually condition a person not to be satisfied with the normal interaction with their wives. Also, it teaches there is always something new and something exciting to pursue. Lonely, angry, and rebellious people get stuck on the internet. Again, lonely, angry, rebellious people get stuck on the internet. Number 5, why? Why, when a spouse comes with a problem, why they are not to blame? This is summary of what we talk about. He or she was this way before he or she met you. Why? Like I said, this happens before they get married, when they were 11, 12 years old, if they are 80% of them, if they are sexually abused, or it comes later on time when they are in college, or if they are exposed to it. So definitely the spouse is not to blame, because some people have totally misunderstanding. Usually they blame the victim. No. Second thing, that it is progressive. Like I said, they don't stay in one level. It go worse and worse and worse. And we did talk about different level of sexual addiction. And I said before, this is like sort of a summary to just wrap what we did talk about. It is addictive as any drug. No one cause anyone to sin. No one have this magic wand in their sin. It is the heart of the person. No matter what anyone can do. If you look at Joseph in the Bible, he was be able to flee, and even that woman just caught him. But what had happened in his situation? It's his boss's wife. It endanger him. It was the easy way out. It will make his life easier. But what had happened? He chose not to, because he have his heart from the beginning that. And as a matter of fact, when you read the verse, he said what? How I can do these evil things and sin to God. He didn't say to your husband. And even if you read Daniel too, when you read Daniel, they will say that Daniel and Shadrach and Meshach, all of them, they have what? They put in their heart that they are not going to defile their body with the rest of what's going on. So definitely, even if people are in the worst, and I'm not recommended that, everyone not to work in their marriage or what, but that's not an excuse. If a person is committed to the relationship, which is one of the 3 things for a Christian happy marriage: Christ-centered, good communication, and commitment. Those are the pillars of a Christian marriage. Christ-centered. If the Christ in the house and he is the center of the house, how can I do this evil? Do I have a good communication? Am I committed to this relationship no matter what? Very important thing for all of us to understand. This is a very important point. You don't have to understand insanity. It is crazy behavior, but you can accept it because you cannot satisfy a fantasy. Most of us cannot understand it. How anyone in his right mind can be satisfied with an image, not with a reality. I don't understand it. It's crazy. It's insanity. But it is there. And then we really have to accept it. Like one of the things I like to share with you, at a certain point in my life, I work in a methadone clinic. And methadone clinic that dealing with people who's on heroin. And I was doing this in my internship. And my fear, because I have to do like individual counseling and group counseling and so on. And my biggest fear was that if I start in this counseling therapy and they come and say, are you using? And if I say no, how they will feel about me. And so I said, and I prepared myself and I went to them and I say, I am a student, I'm doing my internship, and I never used before, and I want you to help me to understand how I can treat someone with an addiction. And even I didn't use before. It was very enlightening. I will never, ever forget that. A couple of them, they raised their hand in the group therapy and they said, please, treat us with respect. We are broken because we are human beings. That was so many years back. I don't think that I will never, ever forget that. Never. Never, ever forget what they told me. And of course, I came to them and I said, yes, it's not like, I'm going to give you an analogy. Not every surgeon, brain surgeon, have to have surgery on his brain, but he's been equipped to do this. And I am here to learn from you and help me to deal with something I don't understand. And that was really the foundation. That was not in a Christian environment. That was in a methadone clinic supported by the state. But it was an eye-opener. To understand any addiction, how someone can sell his family, neglect his wife, neglect his kids for a drink. How? We cannot understand it. It's insanity. And especially when it comes to image. When it comes to image, how anyone can substitute an image with a real person. It's insanity. We cannot understand it. But is that means that we don't have to accept it? Yes, we have to accept it. Is it there? Yes. Is it happening? Yes.